when we think about the shoulders, a lot of times we think of here or here, which is not wrong, but we'll also be thinking about collarbones and shoulder blades, yeah? So take your left hand for a second and just kind of walk along the right collarbone and feel the end point, where it meets the sternum in the center. There's like a little notch. And then curl out and feel where it kind of disappears, it blends into the shoulder blade on the other side. Yeah. And then come back to the inside part and just rest your hand there. Pick up the arm and move the arm around. And how cool is that? Do you feel the collarbone moving? Yeah, so a lot of times when we think about shoulders, we don't think about the collarbone, but it's part of it. And then shoulder blade, if you can reach, take your hand under and just continue to move the arm around and feel how the shoulder blade moves when the arm moves. Yeah. Sometimes we get into trouble when these parts don't move as well as they could, and then we end up overdoing in the humerus, the arm bone itself. So, to the other side just to feel. So take a little walk. Yeah, and then stay on the inside and just, you don't have to push hard, just feel so that you can sense what's going on in here. Yeah. And then let's crawl underneath and feel the shoulder blade if you can reach. If not, just think about it. Yeah. And then we'll pause here and take your arms just out to the side, which we do in yoga from time to time. And then see if you can make the right arm a little bit longer. Just the right side. Yeah? And now still on the right side, imagine you could make the arm longer by reaching from that place where the collarbone and sternum come together. Yeah. And do you feel how different the right arm is than the left? Just in feeling from doing that? Now let's do the left side. So first just reach it out. And then from the collarbone to the fingertips, lengthen a little bit more. Yeah. And then press down. Pretend that you could press into something. Exactly. So let's let that go. Wiggle around a little bit. And then we'll spend some time here on your back, and you will not need all of this, likely just a blanket under the head, if that. You will want it later when we roll to the side, but for the moment, take your leave it. And you'll come along down. And let's have, you can decide if you want legs bent or straight, whatever feels the most comfortable. And as you're in this position, before we start moving, think about where the shoulder blades are set on your back and see if you can just picture them in your mind's eye. You might not have such a good sense quite yet. Just picture them here. And notice how they meet into the back ribs and also how they connect to the floor. And then just very gently let your head roll from side to side, kind of like you're saying no. And notice how easy or not easy that is for you to do. If you go one direction more than the other, perhaps. And then we'll let the head rest. And let's take the right arm and just bring it out to the side of approximately shoulder height. And let's have the palm of the hand facing up. And from that little notch where the sternum and collarbone come together, reach outward. You can stretch the fingers, and you might get a little stretch in the forearm too, and then back off. And do that a few times. Just reach the arm out away from you, back off. And every time you do this little reach, think of reaching from where the collarbone and the sternum come together. And it might feel nice or interesting to turn your head to the left as the right arm is reaching right. But don't force anything. So you may get a stretch sensation, but you might not. Yeah. And then let's keep doing that. But now instead of thinking about the front, the collarbone, let it be the shoulder blade. So the shoulder blade glides away from the spine as you reach. And then it kind of comes back in as you back off. So do that a few times. Yeah. Right. And then the next time you back off, just pause, release the arm again. And notice just from doing that, sometimes the right arm appears closer to the floor, the shoulder blade might feel a little different. Yeah. So we're going to do another thing on this right side. Let's take the arm again out to the side, just like we had it. And then create a little reach, but not max capacity, just a little bit. And rotate the whole arm in such a way that the palm of the hand faces down. This is internal rotation. And then we'll rotate the other direction, external rotation. So take that a couple of times. And as the arm is rotating, just sense what's going on in the shoulder blade in the back. So when we do the internal rotation, you'll likely feel the bottom tip of the shoulder blade kind of pull away from the body and press towards the floor. And then when we do the external rotation, it presses into the back ribs. So do a couple more. Most yoga poses, we ask for a little bit of external rotation. There's a few where we do internal. I'll bring it up when we get there. Yeah. Good. And then just let the arm rest. Let's let it slide down again. And just take a little pause. Notice from doing that, any differences on the two sides. Yeah. So I think we better do the left side. Let's take the left arm out. And then find this little reach, just spreading the fingers, reaching the arm away from you. Think of reaching from the collarbone. And then you'll back off and do that a few times. Yeah. And every time you reach, if it feels good to turn your head to the right, you can add that in. Yeah. And then we'll keep the same movement going, but instead of moving from the collarbone, think of moving from the shoulder blade. So the blade draws away from the spine. And then back. Good. And then just take another little pause. We'll come back again in a second. And then take the arm out again, left arm out to the left. And let's do slight reach, but not max capacity. And then first the internal rotation. So palm turns towards the floor, and then you could even continue going that direction. And then external rotation, going back the other way. So take that a few more times and see if you can feel what the shoulder blade is doing on this left side. Yeah. I don't think I brought it up on side one, but if the head wants to turn here, just let it do what it wants to do naturally. If that means just staying in the center, that's fine. Good. And then let's take a little pause and slide the arm back down. Just take a moment. Let your head roll from side to side. See if that movement we just did has freed up any space in the neck. Sometimes it does. Good. And then we'll let the head rest. Let's now take both arms out to the side. You'll create that little reach. So lengthen out through the fingertips, tiny bend in the elbows, and let the arms hover just a bit off the floor, not much. And then let them come back down and relax. So do that a few times. Let's do it on the inhale. We come out to the side and a little up, slight bend in the elbows, and then down. Now every time the arms lift off the floor, think about the front of the shoulder, the head of the arm bone actually dropping downward towards the floor so that the front of the shoulder kind of aligns with the collarbone. Yeah. And then the next time we're in the arm hover position, just pause there for a second. Yeah. Let's let the arms slowly come back in. So there's still a little bend in the elbows. We've got this kind of a ballet first position. And then slowly start to take the arms up towards your head, but pause when you can still see your fingers in your peripheral. You don't want to go beyond that for the moment. Yeah. Okay. And then let's release the arms. Just let them come back down. And now, let's do the right side first. From the bottom tip of the shoulder blade, pull the blade down towards the right hip. Yeah, and there'll be a little bit of a side bend. And then still from the bottom tip of the shoulder blade, move up towards the head. So we go down towards the hip and up towards the head. And the whole arm will be moving, other parts of the body will be moving, but see if you can initiate it from the bottom tip of the shoulder blade. Yeah. When we go down, that's called the shoulder blade depression, and when we go up, it's shoulder blade elevation. Next time we go down, we'll stay. And then keeping the arm where it is, can you move the shoulder blade out away from the spine? And then glide it up towards your head and in towards the spine. So we're doing 4 points. We go down, out to the right, up, and in towards the left. So do that a few times. Just do the best you can. Sometimes one spot is less accessible than the others. And then see if you can sort of somewhat smooth it out so it makes a circle or an oval or some rounder shape. This is weird. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, let's gonna make it weirder. Let's go the other direction. Yeah, see if you can first do kind of the square, all 4 points. One direction for most people is less possible than the other. And then see if you can smooth that one out. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised in a second when we check it again. Yeah, so let's pause and just breathe for a moment. And for doing that, on the 2 sides, just take a little comparison. For me, the right one feels a little more connected, it fits in a little better, and the left one feels like it's poking out. Yeah. So we're going to do the left side. So first, let's go down, the depression, and then up. So as you're doing these down and up, think of pulling from the bottom tip of the shoulder blade rather than engaging around the neck and the upper trapezius, levator scapula, if you know what those muscles are. Think of the bottom tip kind of pushing up and down rather than pulling from the top. Yeah. And then we're going to make our square. So next time you're in the down position, stay. And then go out to the left, up towards your head and in. And then down, out, up, and in. And keep going. And for most of us, one side is weirder than the other. And if it's not exactly what I cued, it's okay. It's more about the movement than it is about more about movement in general than specific points. Yeah, see if you can smooth it out. You guys finding the left side trickier or easier? Trickier. Yeah. For a lot of us, there's less awareness, less proprioception in the non-dominant side. And then let's go the other direction. See if you can start with the kind of the square. I'm sad Sarah's not here. She actually really likes, I've done this with her. Let's make it a more smooth movement as best you can. Yeah, she likes getting into the nitty-gritty. Yeah, she does. She's an Iyengar student originally. That explains a lot. That also explains why she likes to. Yeah. All right, friends, let's pause. Just take a moment, take a breath. And just check it out. Notice your shoulder blades. You might just have a better sense of it now that we've been moving them. And let's roll our head right and left. And then we'll pause, and we'll take one more little sequence here. We'll roll over on one side, and if you're in the room, let's roll onto the right side. If you're at home, just doesn't matter, as long as you do them both. And here's where I will suggest a blanket under the head, so the head is the same level. It's just in line with the rest of the spine. Yeah. So I'll have the knees bent, and the arms stacked. So straight out from the shoulder, one arm over the other. That's it. And then glide the top arm forward so that the fingers kind of go towards the floor instead of the other hand. And then you'll glide back, keeping a straight arm. Do that a few times, forward and back. And your head will roll a little bit, the spine will roll, the pelvis too, probably. Just let that happen. And I think my arm is cut off on the screen, but hopefully you can tell what I'm doing here. And then we'll add on to our movement, so we'll glide forward, and then as we glide back, bend the elbow and slide the hand across the collarbones till you get to the shoulder on the other side, and then we'll resume and go again. So we'll undo, we'll reach, glides first with the straight arm, and then bend the elbow, go across. Yeah, so that's our pattern. And let the head move with the arm. Great. And then we'll meet here the next time the hands touch. Take a slightly different position here. Slide both arms a little lower, more towards the knees, kind of on the diagonal. And then let's go again, see think. So first with the straight arm reach. And then when we glide back, the arms stay straight and it'll be limited movement. And then go again. Yeah. And as you reach into that outward position, see it, you might feel a little pull around the inner part of the shoulder blade. When you're ready to add on here, as we glide back and bend the elbow, come across the chest, and get into that open. It's kind of like you're pulling a bowstring. Do that a few times. Archery lesson. And then let's finish last round here. And the next time you land with the hands touching, we'll pause. And then slide the arms a little bit up towards your head. And you might want to move the blanket that's under your head here. And we'll go ahead and first just glide forward and back with a straight arm. And allow the head to roll as it wants to. Face might get a little squash in the blanket. Yep. And then we'll continue letting the elbow bend, gliding across the collarbones and out into our archery position. So later on, when we're doing some of our more classic standing poses, we'll do something kind of like this in those poses. So I'll remind you when we get there. Yeah. And then last time here, when we meet with the hands touching, we'll pause. Come back to your original position here with the arms just kind of straight out, that middle one. And then we'll go one more time, but it'll be a little different. So you'll glide forward. We'll glide back, bend the elbow, sweep across the chest, and then take your hand to the forehead in a sort of dramatic gesture. And let the elbow kind of lead the way, and the hand is on the head, so the head gets turned. But the neck muscles are relaxed. So we go back and forth here. The elbow stays bent the whole time, and the hand stays on the forehead the whole time. And it's not just the head that's rotating, the chest is turning, the ribs are moving, the spine is rolling. And then the next time we turn open to the side and pause, let the arm come away from the forehead and just out to the side. Likely it'll hover. For some of us, it'll touch the floor. Twist. Yeah, and then from here, let's roll over onto your back. And we'll just take a little quick little notice, right side versus left side. You might too notice a difference in the breath when we start to move into the rib cage. That can open up some space and breathing room. Okay. So we're going to roll over to side 2, and we'll repeat that sequence. And once you're there, arms are straight, knees are bent. And we'll first find that little glide. So forward and back with a straight arm, or your version is straight. Yeah. And then when you're ready to go, next time you start gliding back and bend the elbow and sweep across the chest to the other side shoulder. And then you'll rewind and go again. Now you might find that the second side, it has more mobility than the first side. And that's because it was indirectly moving from the first side. You kind of had a benefit from it being the bottom arm. Yeah. All right, friends. Then the next time we land, we'll pause. And we'll change to the down slope. So the arms go a little down towards the knees. And then let's begin first with that glide straight arm. Allow the spine to roll and the head to roll. That's it. And then when you're ready, you will slide across and bend the elbow across the chest. That's it. I think it's nice every now and then just to roll around on the floor. Yeah. Good. All right, let's do last round here. And then the next time the hands touch, we'll pause and slide into the up slope. And again, we'll go first with the straight arm, that reach, and then the draw back. Excellent. And then we'll add in the archer positions, bending the elbow across the chest we go and turn a little more open. And take that one a few more times. Of all 3 positions, this was my favorite, the upward. Yeah. And then let's finish up last round with this one. Once the hands stack, we'll slide them down a little back into that middle position, the first position. And then we'll glide again forward. And as we glide back, pause when you get to the chest and then take the hand to the forehead. And in a dramatic gesture here, you'll let the elbow do the turning, and the elbow is connected to the hand, which is currently connected to the head. So as you're taking this, really tune in and make sure the neck is relaxed and not taking over, because it certainly could. But we want it to be the elbow. It's drawing the line. Yeah, the next time we roll into the open position, let's pause. Take the hand away from the forehead and open up into your twist. Maybe you touch the floor, maybe you don't. Yes. And then as you're ready, we'll roll over again onto your back. This will be our last little check-in here. Just notice how you've landed, shoulder blades, back of the neck, back of the arms. You can take a little head turn, see if that has changed, if you have any more room than you did before. Yep. And then the last little thing here, let the head rest. And now with your shoulder blades, both of them, just see if you can move around any which way, any and all directions. Up, down, in and out. You can twist, you can tilt, you can, it's like a bear scratching against the tree. Yeah. All right. And then pause. Okay, friends, we're gonna come off the back. When you're ready, let's roll over and come to all fours. Yeah? So take your time to get there. If you need padding for the knees, you can certainly set that up. Gotta rearrange all the furniture. It's amazing. Now I have like 7 pillows every night. All right. So here we are on all fours. And like we just did laying down, we will start to move the shoulder blades around. And just notice that you'll get more movement here now that you're not laying on them. Yeah. You notice though, if one has a tendency to lead, for me it's the right. And if you have a leader, see if you can let the other side have a turn leading. And the movement itself, it doesn't matter. It's anything goes, any and all directions here. The rest of the body will come along as the shoulder blade kind of steers. Yeah. Good. And then let's pause and go back just a brief child's pose. You can widen the knees if you like. Arms will stay forward. And without going anywhere, push the mat down and forward with your hands. And feel what that does in the neck, in the shoulder blades, and the arms. And then do the opposite. Create a little pull. Yeah, do that a few times. Just kind of a slow motion, little push, little pull. And we'll utilize both in the rest of our class today. And then from the pull, let's come back up to our all fours position. Reset your stance. And then the right elbow, but actually both elbows can bend a little bit here. Let the right shoulder move forward, up, back, and down. So you're doing a shoulder roll, but just on one side. That's it. And then let's pause and do the other ones. Forward, up, back, and down. You'll see. You'll see. And then we pause. Go back to the right side. And now go back, up, forward, and down. Oh. And if that didn't happen and you end up going the same way again, it's fine. All right, last side. So we go forward, just go the other way. You can't do it. I can do it, I can't say it. Yeah, it's awkward. All right, I think enough is enough. Let's come down onto the belly. We'll give the arms a break. You can fold your hands like so and just rest the forehead on the hands. Yeah, you can come all the way to the belly. I just can't do that. So, all right. Once you're in position, pick up one leg at a time. Just scooch it back and down so you get a little extra room. And then let's think about the legs for a second. So draw the legs back and up. We'll do it with my arms back and up and lift up through the inner thigh. Yeah, and then let that go. Do that a few times. So pull back and up with the legs and down. Good. Go again. Stay with the legs up. Slide the hands a wee bit forward and the elbows in slightly. And then try to pull the mat back as you draw the chest forward. We lengthen to lift. So we're in a little bit of a back bend here. The legs are up, the chest is forward. Lower everything back down. And then let's do both together. So the arms pull back, the chest comes forward and up, the legs lift from the inner thighs. And down we go. One more time. That's it. And then once you're back down, stay down there. You can rest the forehead again. Bend the knees so the feet are in the air and just let them take a little swish from side to side. All right. And from here, friends, let's lower the legs back down. We'll head into child's pose with the toes tucked under on our way to downward facing dog pose. So toes tucked under, ready to pounce. The knees will lift off the floor. Keep them pretty bent at first, and then do that push. So the hands push down and forward. The hips shift back and up. And from there, you can start to lengthen out the legs. And it might feel nice to pedal because we've not done anything really to warm up the legs yet. Yeah. You can let the pelvis shift, the spine take a little twist if you like. And then just gradually here, step the feet a little wider till we're about mat width distance. Bend both knees and crawl the arms back and prop yourself up so the forearms are on the thighs. Elbows are bent, and without going anywhere, try that pull. So the arms pull towards the hip creases as the shoulder blades move down the back and the collarbones widen. And then back off. Do that a few times. Let's inhale to find a little pull. And exhale to back off. One more time here. Stay. Press your weight into the heels. Let's use the inhale to grow. Arms lift, legs lengthen, and then the arms release down. Stay here in your kind of wide stance. Bend the knees a little bit, and then let the right shoulder come forward, up, back, and down. Then the left side, same thing. Yes, and keep doing that. And let it not just be the shoulders, but the ribs are moving, the spine is moving, probably the head too. Keep going, and then let the arms start to come a little bit away from the body, like you're moving in the C here. Yeah, great. And then gradually let the movement settle. We'll go the other way later. And you can stay wide if you like. I'm going to, or you can come in a little bit, whatever's most comfortable. Slight bend in the knees. Let's crisscross at the forearms. And then as we inhale, straighten the legs, lift the arms up. As we exhale, create some resistance. Out and down we go. At the bottom, we'll bend the knees, crisscross the other way. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, resistance on the way down. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, up. And resistance on the way down. One more time, we'll stay. Next time you're in the down position. That's it. Hands to the shins, halfway up, lengthen. Lower yourself down, walk the hands forward, and then come into plank on the knees. So the knees are a little further back than the hips. Let the chest drop down just a little bit, and then pull the chest forward and move the shoulder blades down the back. Then press into the floor and find a little lift. Let's do that one more time. So the chest comes down, chest pulls forward, shoulder blades move down the back, press into the floor and lift. Yeah, great. And then from here, let's tuck the toes under, plank pose, into downward facing dog pose. From your position, let's come forward, feet to the hands. Halfway up, we come lengthen. Lower yourself down, little bend, crisscross the forearms, inhale up through the center, and then arms come down, create resistance on the way down. Yeah, this down to the mountain pose. All right, so our next little section, we'll be putting a knee down. If you need a blanket for that, you can. If you blocks for your hands, you can. All right. And the same thing we just did. So feet at comfortable distance apart, little bend in the knees, hip shift back, crisscross. Inhale, we come up, and then resistance on the way down, all the way down this time, forward fold. Halfway up, lengthen. Lower yourself down here, step the right leg back, lunge with the knee down on the floor. Yeah, and then from here, let's inhale, arms up. And as we exhale, take the hands to prayer. Yeah, now from here, we'll take the arms forward, still in the prayer, and then the left hand brushes across the right forearm, across the chest, just to the other shoulder. We're going to keep the bent elbow, and then we undo. Now let's do that 2 more times, kind of like when we were on the floor. Yes, a similar movement. And then the last time. Okay. And once you're back to center, let's take the arms up. And then from here, we'll just reorient a little bit. Take the hands down for a sec. Pivot the right foot slightly to the left. And then bring the left forearm to the left thigh, right hand to the hip. Yeah, now in this position, very gently, press left arm and leg into each other as you turn the chest a little to the right. And now let's take the right hand to the left hand, finding that sort of prayer position. And same thing as before, we'll glide across the arm, across the chest, just to the arch or bent elbow. Do that a few times. Yeah. See if you can let the rotation happen from the upper part of the spine, ribs. Yeah. Good. And then this last one here, go ahead and let the arm open. Keep the fingers in your peripherals. Don't let the arm fling behind you. And then we'll undo, release both arms down, reset and lift the back knee off the floor. From here, friends, we're heading into plank pose. Option to do plank on the knees. Also option to do all fours if that's a better decision. Just like we did last time, let the chest sink down a bit. Chest forward, shoulder blades move down the back, and then press, find a little lift. Do that one more time. Yeah, good. All right, from here, if you had the knees down, let's lift them up. Go back to downward facing dog pose. And then from here, we'll meet at the front of the mat, feet step forward. Halfway lift, shoulder blades down the back, collarbones wide. Come down with a little bend. Do that 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to descend. Yeah, last round. And then on the way down here, left leg steps back, knee to the floor. Take a second to get there. Yep, that's it. And then let's come all the way up here, arms to the sky. Hands come to prayer. And then forward with the arms. Start to glide the right arm across the left as we turn and open, keep the bent elbow. And then undo. 2 more times, and for this version, we'll keep the elbow bent the whole time. We won't go to the open one. And that's it. And release, arms come down. Pivot the left foot a little to the right. Right forearm to right thigh. Press arm and leg as left hand is to the hip, and we turn. That's it. And then come down a little bit. Hands touch, and we find that little glide, bent elbow, and release. And do this one 2 more times. And then this last one here will stay, and go ahead and let the arm come out, but don't let the fingers pull further back than the shoulder and the torso. Yeah. All right, and then let's come out, release that. Lunge pose. From your lunge pose, let's go plank pose to child's. Yeah? But don't go all the way back. Keep the hips a little bit lifted. And then take your hands off of the mat onto your fingertips with bent elbows. So it's, I'll face the front for a second. It looks like this. And then you'll drop down a little bit. Press into the floor. And as you come up to kind of a little undulation on the way up, and then you'll come back down with a little rolling cobra. Do that a few times. Yeah. And if anybody wants to add it in, you can do a little side to side, either on the way up or on the way down, or both. See if you can, if you are doing the side to side, notice what's going on in the shoulder blades. It's very exciting. Hey guys. Next time you're back down, let's reset. Hands come down in front of you. Downward facing dog pose. And then from your downward facing dog, either feet forward or hands back, standing forward fold. Bend the knees, crisscross the forearms, inhale up. And then just press the arms down alongside you. Yeah. All right. So let's have a wide stance, not like crazy wide, just medium wide. Little bend in the knees, and then the left shoulder rolls up and forward. And then the right one. And the left one. And keep doing that and let it start to travel really through the whole body. And you can start making the arms bigger. It starts to look like swimming motion. Awesome. Okay. And then from here, let's let the movement settle. Just coming back to center. If you're not at the top of the mat, up there. And again, you might want blocks for the next little section. So we'll start the same way we've been going, feet a comfortable distance apart. Little bend, hip shift back, crisscross. Inhale up through the center, and exhale down, forward fold. Halfway up, shoulder blades move down the back. Let's step the right leg back here, first lunge pose. Stay in a position, and without moving your hands, try to drag the hands back, chest forward to feel that shoulder blade action here. Yeah, let's turn the back heel down to the floor. Open up to warrior two pose. And then from your position, let's take the arms into that sort of ballet first position. So elbows a little bent, hands are just about in front of the navel. And then slowly here, think of opening the arms from your back body. Arms open wide. Yes, great. Once they're wide, stretch the fingers long, turn the palms down. Turn your face to look left, but keep your awareness on the right side. And from the collarbone to the fingertips, lengthen. Yeah. And then do that on the left side, but don't pull yourself forward as you do it. Good. Pretend there's something you can press into and press down. Yeah. And then from here, yogis. Let's lower the arms crisscross. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms. Exhale, rebend, create resistance with the arms on the way down. Do that a few times. Inhale up and exhale down. One more time. Inhale up and exhale down. From here, back hand comes to the back hip. Let's come forward and down, forearm on the thigh, side angle variation. And then from here, take the right hand to the left. And let's do that little sweep, bend the elbow, and then we'll unsweep. Do that a few times. See if you can let this rotation happen from the spine, the rib cage, the right shoulder blade. Yeah, next time we're going to swept, let's lift the arm just straight up towards the ceiling. Good. And then take the arm forward, overhead, look down. Release both hands down, spin the back heel up. If you want to take a moment here to bend and straighten the front knee, or wiggle the hips a little bit, anything that you like is fine. Yeah. All right, friends. And then from here, let's reset downward facing dog pose. And within the downward facing dog, let's bend the knees a little bit and find that push action. So hands push forward and down onto the floor. And then back that off a little. Do that a few times. So we find that little push. And then back off. And now this last time will be a little different. Next time you come slightly forward, stay. Little tiny bend in the elbows. As you push, or before you push, turn the elbow tips in more towards each other. And then find the push. Yeah, so there's a little bit of rotation. Stay there and re-lengthen your legs. Good. And then from here, let's come to the front of the mat, feet and hands. Just a halfway lift as a transition. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Lower it down, step the left leg back, setting up for your lunge pose. And then from the position, without moving your hands, try to draw back so the collarbones broaden and the shoulder blades move down the back a little bit. Yeah, from here, take the back heel down to the floor. Open up first into your warrior two pose. And then we'll take our ballet first position, elbows bend, hands right in front of the navel. Use your back to open the arms. Nice and slow. Once you get there, stretch the arms long. Turn the palms down. And then turn your face to look right, but keep your attention on the left side. Collarbones to fingertips lengthen. And then do that on the right side without pulling forward. Press down. And then from here, let's come in. Inhale, we lengthen, lift. Exhale, resistance on the way down with the arms. Do that a few more times. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. And then from here, we stay. Come forward. Back hand comes to the hip. Right forearm to right thigh. And then from here, let the hands touch. Let's do this a few times. We do that little sweep and turn. And then undo. Go two more. That's it. And then this last one, we find the turn, and then lift the arm. And then take the arm overhead, look down towards the floor. Let's come out of this. Hands come down, back heel comes up. If you need any little movement here, take what you like. All right, and then from here, let's step the back foot forward. Root down to rise up. Let's come up through the center. And then create the resistance out and down, little press in the arms. All right, so just stand in a comfortable stance for you. Slight little bend in the knees. And now it's sea monster asana. Yeah, see if you can initiate the movement, whatever it is, from the shoulder blades in the back. And then keep going, but now initiate from the collarbones in the front. And it might be kind of weird. Weird is good. Okay. We'll let that one go. So we'll do kind of a repeat of the last sequence with a few extra poses added in. It'll be not exactly the same, but kind of similar. So let's be at the front of the mat. Little bend, little shift back, crisscross. Inhale brings us up. Exhale takes us down. Resistance in the arms on the way down. Halfway up, we lengthen. Lower it down, right leg steps back. First to lunge. Let's find that space creator, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, chest forward. Back heel turns down to the floor. Let's come up into our warrior two. And then from here, we'll go straight into the side angle. Back side of the hip, come forward and down, forearm on the thigh. And then let's find that little arm sweep. So we sweep across. Do this one 3 times like we did on the other round. That's it. And then on this last one here, we'll open. Take the arm overhead, look down. And then release the arm, turn the back heel up. Step the back leg in enough that you can have the heel down onto the floor. Yeah. Then without moving your hands, let's find that little pull back effect, moving the chest forward. I'm going to stay here with my right hand where it is. If anybody wants to move it in, either more towards the left foot or even across to the other block, that's an option. Now you'll take the left hand close to the right hand, and we'll do our archery pose. So let's do this one 3 times. Coming into something like revolve triangle. Yep. And then on this last one, I'm going to stay with the bent elbow. If anybody wants to lengthen the arm, you can. And then we'll undo. Now, listen up here. It's different than classic triangle, yeah? We're going to leave the pelvis alone. Reset the hands here so they're right under the shoulders. And then take the right hand towards the left hand. And now let's turn the chest. And this one's a little bit more of a rotation. Yeah, down we come. Do that one 2 more times. Good. And then this third one here, you can stay with the bent elbow. You can lift the arm if you wish. Good. Okay, that's that. Put the arm down. Rebend the front knee. Scooch the right leg back a little so we can transition. Downward facing dog pose. You can be here, you can be still, you can wiggle. Yeah, if anybody wants to take a vinyasa or a dog plank transition, take a moment or a few moments for yourself. All right. And then from the next downward facing dog, let's meet at the front of the mat, feet forward. Slide the hands to the shins, do a few of these. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, let's come down with bent knees. Do that a couple more. Yes, yogis. Last time here. On the way down, left leg steps back, second side, lunge pose. Before we come up, find the length, yeah? Back heel turns to the floor. Let's open up for warrior two pose. And then from your warrior two, we'll shift forward into side angle. And let's do this one 3 times. So we draw the arm, finding our archery, and then letting it down. Yeah, a couple more. And on this last one, you can lengthen the arm all the way. Let's take it up and overhead. And then from here, release the arms down. Step the back leg forward. Go a little straighter in the front leg. And then can you move the chest forward again here? Yeah, so left hand can stay, or it can come a little to the right or all the way to the outside. It's up to you. Right arm comes towards the left arm, and then let's slide across, bending the elbow, finding the twist, and then lower it down. Do that a few more times. Yeah. And if anybody's watching me, I just need a wider stance here. You don't have to do that, but you can if you want. And then on this last one here, if you'd like to lift the arm, you can. If not, just keep the bent elbow. Good, good, good. Lower yourself down. And now here we take the triangle variation. I just want to emphasize it's not the traditional. Leave the pelvis alone. And then take the left hand towards the right. And we'll do that little sweep and turn and undo. Do that one a couple more. Yeah. And then this last one, if you want to lift the arm, great. If not, just forget about it. And then that's the end. Release. Rebend the front knee. Scooch the left leg back just to transition. Let's go plank to the belly this time. Yeah. And then 3 times of any style of cobra. If you want to do that spider one that we did on in child's pose before, some of you might like that. Yeah. And then when you're done with whatever you're doing, let's stay rested here. You can bend the knees and give the feet a little swish, or you can circle the feet around if that feels good. And then lower the legs down. Let's press yourself back. We'll go to child's pose, but if you need a down dog first before child's pose, you can do that. And then from your child's pose, let's come up. We'll swing the legs around and just come into a seated position. Any seated position. You could do cross-legged, Bandhasana, Baddha Konasana, anything goes. Anything goes. If you need height, you can put a blanket or something underneath you. And we'll work on, again, collarbones, shoulder blades, and arms here. So if you are elevated, you might need to also have the hands on something. It just kind of depends. Like you can have them on your prop or on a block. Be on the fingertips. And then as we inhale, let's press down. Draw a little back through the outer shoulders. Collarbones broaden. Shoulder blades press into the back. And on the exhale, we just back that off. Do that a few times. Yeah. Great. And then on the next one, let's stay in the up position. Good. All right, and then release that. Let's untangle the legs however you've set them up. Just give them a little shakety shake for a sec. Yeah. And then we'll come back down onto your back. Let's have the knees bent, the feet on the floor, and the arms in a bent elbow robot arm position. Now palms face each other. And similar to what we just did, on the inhale, press the backs of the arms into the floor, press the shoulder blades into the back ribs, and the upper back lift a little. And on the exhale, let it go. Yeah, so it's kind of like bridge without lifting the hips. Do that a few times. Good. And then if anybody wants to lift the hips here, be my guest. If you'd rather keep them down on the floor, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. And then let's come on down. Take the feet wide so the knees are still bent, and let's take the arms up by your head. Let the knees drop over to the left. And then reach the right knee and the hands away from each other. Just a little stretch. That's it. And then return through center, other side. So left knee reaches away from you and the arms pull back. Yeah, let's take one more of each. Good. And then if there's anything else that you need before Shavasana, go ahead and take that now. And if you need to set up any sort of props, go ahead and do. And as you do settle in here, this might not be exactly the position you were checking before, but it's pretty similar. So notice if you sense the shoulder blades any differently. The way they meet the back, the way they meet the floor. Maybe your arm bones meet the floor differently, the back of the head. And see if you can relax the muscles in your face, the jaw, the temples, the little spot behind the ears. Let the chest relax and the belly relax. Imagine the whole back of the body just becoming a little wider across, taking up a little bit more space. And gently begin to deepen your breath and allow your head just to take a little turn, a little roll from side to side. Notice if there's this is any different too than it was earlier. If there's any other movement that appeals to you, take that now. Whenever you're ready, bend the knees. Just very gently roll to one side. And very gently press up when we sitting. Hands right at heart center. Light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste, everybody.